A week after returning from the moon Oneiros, she had been allowed to go home to Jason. As she entered his house, he thought he could see starlight in her eyes. When they kissed, her passion seemed new again. He held her tightly. The familiar shape of her body undulated over and beneath him. At breakfast the next day, he looked into her eyes. They seemed dark and fathomless, lacking self-doubt. Around the edges of her glance danced a malign mischief. "It's as if you have fallen in love with me all over again," Jason said. One evening he came back to find her writing. "Come to bed," he said. "I need to do this first," she said. He was bemused. Jason lay in the bed and watched her writing. Her lack of interest in him in the face of her new passion beguiled him more. He wanted to read what she had written. "No," she said. "It's not for anyone else. I can't seem to stop." "It's based on what happened on Oneiros, isn't it?" Jason asked. "You know, I've no memory of Oneiros, but I have some memories of the journey there on Chimera. It will be a novel inspired by art, what I have read and the films I have seen, combined with my memories." "Who will be the heroine?" he teased. "Me, Artemis, in third person." She put out her hand and touched his. She could feel his skin, hot, the knuckles of his fingers, the calloused palm of his hands. Again that feeling, acutely sensory, that flushed through her body, upwards into her thoughts, until she felt she could apprehend the icy reality of the world. She wrote in a black, slanted script, the angular style Jason had seen so often when she had once made her research notes. She had forgiven him, he realized. All her previous resentment of him before she had left for Oneiros 9 months ago had been wiped away. She no longer expected him to be different from who he was. He was grateful. She looked outside and saw the luminous lights of the city. Her heightened consciousness was aroused by their clarity. How she loved this feeling coursing through her, the sensation of her body shivering with transience as the neon lights scintillated like stars. Her skin felt tentatively on edge. This ambivalent sensibility had made her want to write. At night, while she slept beside him, he wondered what had happened to the other astronauts. She had told Mission Control at the debriefing that she had no memory of what had happened. She had returned to Earth alone, with the 2 pilot dryads on board. While she slept, he picked up the manuscript of her novel from where it lay in a drawer. He wondered about reading it while she dreamt, wondered if the novel would hold any clues as to what had happened on Oneiros that had perhaps slipped onto the page from her unconscious while she wrote. He could try to separate the fiction from the truth, the fantasy from the real, but the larger part of him preferred to remain in the dark. Without looking at it any further, he put the novel back in the drawer. Chimera lay there, concrete and real, waiting to be read, understood, to become part of someone else's dream.